Hi, everyone. Welcome to our second quarter Funeral Home Advantage webinar. We are so excited to have you joining us again. Just a quick reminder that this webinar will be recorded and we will be sending out an email later this week with a recording and a PDF version of the presentation for your use in the future. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to put those in the chat or the Q&A and we will answer those towards the end. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us for this awesome webinar. So let's get started. Today, we are going to talk about gathering and utilizing testimonials. But first, we're going to start with why gathering testimonials is so important. The work you do in funeral service is sacred. You support families through one of the most difficult moments in their lives. Your compassion, professionalism, and care often leave lasting impressions, but too often those stories stay private. Today, I'd like to talk to you about why gathering testimonials isn't just about marketing, it's about honoring the experiences of the families you serve and helping others feel confident in choosing a place where they will be treated with dignity and grace. When families are choosing a funeral home, they're making a deeply emotional decision, often under stress and time constraints. Hearing from people that have had a positive experience can reassure others that they are making the right choice in this difficult time. A heartfelt testimonial from other families gives them peace of mind. It helps them feel like we're not alone, other people have trusted this place, so we can be cared for. It's social proof that others were treated with care and compassion, and potential clients will feel more confident in reaching out to you. Many funeral homes offer similar services, but testimonials highlight the things that truly make your team special. How you guided a family through complex decisions, how you honored a loved one's unique life, or how you went above and beyond to make things easier for them. People want to know that their loved ones will be treated with dignity. Real stories and reviews help showcase the funeral home's sensitivity, respect, and professionalism better than any ad copy ever could. These stories reflect your values and can set you apart. Unlike commercial advertising, testimonials come from a place of genuine experience. They don't sell, they reassure. Google reviews, website testimonials, and social media mentions all help improve search engine optimization, meaning the funeral home is more likely to show up when someone searches for services in their area. A few kind words from a grieving daughter, a grateful spouse, or a family member can express the warmth and professionalism of your team far beyond a brochure. Funeral homes can feel intimidating, especially to someone who's never had to plan a service before. The environment, the formality, the emotions, it can all feel a little overwhelming. That's where testimonials do something incredibly powerful. They humanize us. They add a human touch and can reflect the warmth, care, and personal attention that sets your business apart from others. They cut through the formal exterior and reveal the heart of the business, the people behind the desks and the phone calls who care deeply and act with compassion. It tells future families this isn't just a business, it's a group of people who truly care. And in your line of work, that personal connection is everything. Testimonials aren't just for marketing. They're also valuable tools for growth and reflection. When families share their honest experiences, they highlight what we're doing right. Just as importantly, they can highlight where we might need to improve. This feedback becomes a form of real-world quality control. Maybe a family mentions how seamless the process was, or maybe they gently note that they felt rushed during one part of the planning. Both types of feedback are incredibly valuable. As agents and staff, you don't always see the service through the family's eyes. Testimonials gives us a chance to view the experience from their perspective, to understand what mattered most to them and where you might create even more comfort and clarity next time. In short, gathering testimonials isn't just about showing what we've done well, it's also about listening, learning, and continually striving to do better for every family you serve.
Thank you so much, Maddie. Now I'm going to take it from here and let's talk about gathering reviews from your clients and what that process looked like. So, first of all, you want to handle the situation with care, especially due to the emotional nature of our work. Many families don't want to talk about their loss, especially not right after the service. Many families also don't want to think about that business aspect of the funeral service, and asking a review does kind of bring that to the forefront. So, asking for a review at the wrong time can lead to a negative impression and bad reviews, which is something we want to try to avoid. So give families time to grieve before reaching out for that review. Don't bring up the review in the funeral service or in the days immediately following the service unless there's a really good reason to. And there are some situations where that's the right move. So let's talk about finding that right moment. Our goal here is not just to get reviews, but to get good reviews. So learn how to identify the right time to ask. Identifying moments where families can express gratitude. So that would be a really good time to mention that their kind words can help others. This can be a situation where you generally don't want to bring it up at the funeral, but if someone does go out of their way to say something positive or in the moment feels right, you can bring it up in that moment. Like, hey, we would love for you to share that with others. So when the family does express something positive, kind of have an ear out, listening for that so that you can remember to bring up the review. Um, Ask for these reviews, don't demand or pressure anyone. Um, the goal here is to make clients feel valued. So try wording that does that. Things like, if you feel comfortable, we would appreciate any feedback you'd like to share about your experiences with our team. Or thank you for your kind words. If you're open to it, would you consider leaving us a review? It helps other families know that they can trust us to honor their loved one. Again, it's really soft language. You want to make sure that you're handling this process respectfully. Here are a couple of ways to start that conversation respectfully. First is that we recommend having your pre-need agent or family service counselor reach out to the family, maybe 1 or 2 weeks after the service. They can express condolences for the loss and remind the family of any grief resources that your funeral home may have available. This is a chance to ask if the family has any questions or if they need help with anything. If the feedback that you get from that conversation is positive, this is a really good time to kind of gently transition into that request for a review. Your primary goal in that phone call should be client satisfaction, not just the review. So you want to feel out that situation to make sure that you will get a good review before you suggest it. Another great way to restart the interaction with the family is to consider mailing out a survey to the family a few weeks after the services. So, surveys can provide valuable feedback on your services. And if you include a free response portion of that, they're also a great way to generate reviews directly from that. You can also include a link to your Google review page on the bottom of that where they can, post a review directly to Google. Surveys are also a really great way to transition to your pre-need sales process with the family of the deceased. Another thing to think about is just including a link on any materials that are left behind with the client. So this is kind of a passive way to make them, give them an opportunity to leave a review if they feel so motivated. This can be a QR code or a link to that Google review page, or whatever your funeral home's preferred submission method is. By including that in multiple places where they can see it, you also really reinforce that concept of, oh, this is something I could leave a review for. Making it easy for the client to submit that review means that you're going to get more reviews. Make sure it's easy to access when they're ready. And here's an example of that survey I mentioned earlier. So, like I said, surveys are a really great way to reestablish contact with the family after the service. So, aim for that same kind of 1 to 2 week window after the service. You want to give them space to grieve, but also, not so much time that they don't remember details about their experience. You can use the information returned on the survey as a testimonial, or you can use a link or QR code and refer them directly to your Google review page. So your Google review page is kind of the first place that many potential clients will encounter your review. So on the left hand of the screen, you can actually see what that Google review page looks like from the customer's experience. If you do use a QR code or a link, like we have in the example, it'll just pull up a page with your location on Google Maps, that kind of star review system, and a spot for them to add their thoughts. So since this is such a common way for people to encounter your reviews, it's really good to kind of push people to that page. By making it easy for clients to add reviews, you also get more of them. So consider the QR code and link, including those on things like your email signature, where you're having conversations with the family, or in other, materials you might leave with them. Use messaging in that encourages positive reviews. So you'll note in the example that we've got kind of at the bottom of the screen there that the messaging prompts clients to share if they feel like we've served them well. So any language like give us your opinion or let us know what you think can be good in some situations because getting feedback on things that may be going wrong is helpful. But on the flip side of that, if you're pushing them directly to your Google reviews page, this is going to be public without a chance for you to kind of help them in that process and resolve any issues. So using language that kind of prompts positive reviews is a good move in there. Let's take a look at what the process for sending people to that Google reviews page looks like, and how you can get that QR code and the link. So if you have a Google business account, log into that. If you do not have a Google business account set up, we've actually got a previous webinar that goes into the details of how to do that. So you may want to go back and watch that. But once you're logged in, it will pull up a page and you'll choose the option that is read reviews from the list of buttons that it gives you. Then you'll have an option to select get more reviews. And then it'll show a pop-up that has both the link that you can copy and paste out as well as that QR code that you can download. The link itself is very long and not very pretty. So generally, if you are putting that in an email signature or something like that, you want to hide it in link text and not just kind of copy and paste the whole thing in there. A couple more things that you want to think about when gathering reviews is that we suggest most of that post-service follow-up, the surveys, phone calls, that sort of thing, is handled by the pre-need agent. Those sort of interactions are a great way for the agent to build rapport with the family and to kind of prepare them for the pre-need sales process. That being said, make sure all of your staff are trained for the basics of asking for reviews. They should know how to ask for them respectfully and also how the client can submit those reviews if someone says something like, hey, you've done a great job, that sort of thing. So remember that we're on the hunt for good reviews. Anytime an client expresses gratitude or satisfaction, that's going to be the right time to ask. And that ask can be made by any of your staff. Another thing to think about is that your reviews aren't just for your at-need services. Go ahead and include reviews as part of your pre-need sales process as well. So pre-need reviews are great because everybody's still alive, which means that you don't need to worry quite so much about, the timing or the delicate nature of how to ask for things. You can just include it like a normal sales interaction and incorporate that into every sale that you make. Remind them that it's a great way to help others understand the value of pre-planning. And don't forget that this is also a really good time to ask for referrals. So do things like if you're a pre-need agent, include that in your email signature or in, things that you send out to clients. Mentions of pre-planning on the funeral home's Google review page are a really great way to build awareness that that's something your funeral home offers. So you'll get, more people aware of your pre-need program, which is definitely something we want. Okay, so now I'm going to hand this off to Camille, who's going to talk about how you can use those reviews once you've actually got them.
Thank you, Jackie. So now, once you have gathered those meaningful testimonies from families, the next step is knowing how and where to use them. These messages are more than just kind words. They are one of the most powerful marketing tools. When you use these testimonials, you build trust, reassure the future families, and then you also highlight the compassionate service that your funeral home provides. So now let's talk about the first place where you can put your reviews is in your website. We highly, highly recommend putting the testimonials on the homepage of your website, or service a specific page as well, and in the About Us section. These help create an emotional connection and build trust with families who are sorry, with families who are learning about your funeral home for the first time. Reviews that mention specific staff members or describe a personalized care that you give to one of those families. So here on the screen, you can see one of our funeral homes that we work with, that they use the testimonials in their homepage. They have a couple. So that is a great place to start using the testimonials or reviews that you get. Next place is on social media. This is a great place to start sharing short quotes that highlight the team care and how professional your funeral home it is. You can pair a testimonial with a calming photo of a chapel, a flower arrangement, a sunset, or even you can choose, if the person agrees with you, you can share the picture of that family. And here in the screen, we have two examples of how we use or testimonials that we get from, in this case, it's from a pre-need agent, from a pre-need manager, and from a funeral home director. So you can use it in different ways. Sometimes you can use it as a quote, or if the family agrees as well, you can record a video of them and create a short reel of them. Maybe just an audio, or however you can, honestly, you can play around to see what is the best way for you to use these testimonials. And finally, printed materials and flyers. Testimonials can be used in brochures, service guides, grid support handouts, and even on thank you cards. A quote about peace of mind fits well in a pre-need planning package, while a message about your ongoing care is perfect for an aftercare material or community event flyer. The key takeaway here is to match the testimonial that you're going to use with the material that you are creating. Please place each testimonial and review where it fits well, the most relevant and impactful place. Whether this is a digital or a print material, every touch point that you have with the family is important to let your past families speak to the future families that you are going to work with. So here on the screen, we have another example of how we use the testimonials. We use it for a PDF form to give away on our meetings that we have, and for agents to have it when they have this, when they talk with another funeral homes. So these are just a couple examples, but again, here is the part that you can play around and create as many materials as you want. So now this is the moment for you to ask us a couple questions if you have. We have the Q&A section that you can ask questions, and if not, the chat as well.
We will give you guys just a couple more seconds to add any questions you may have. And like Maddie mentioned at the top of the meeting, we are recording this, so it'll be available as a resource on the pre-need agent training pages, just in case you ever need to share this with some of your other agents, or if you just want to go back and review. We've got all of our past ones on there, and they're there as a resource for you guys. So. Let's see, Diana says, are there any flyers that we will be able to add only our name and contact information, a flyer that includes information about pre-need? So we do have a couple of flyer options available in the agent cart on Agent Portal. If you go into the just your regular agent cart where you'd buy, order a gift of love, that sort of thing, there is an option in the list of categories that is marketing. If you go into there, we have a bunch of items that you can download. Now, some of those are just like static social media posts, but we do have a couple of flyers in there that you can either edit in Canva, which is a free online program, or our PDFs where they have, like a field that you can enter where you can add your contact information. At the moment, we've only got a couple of flyers in there, but we do add new materials each quarter. So I'll kind of make a note that more flyers for you guys in pre-need is something that you'd be interested in. Happy to help, Diana. And we'll give you guys just another couple of seconds to see if anybody else has questions. And I'll add one other thing, which we didn't mention in our presentation, but we also love sharing testimonials. So if you guys ever have a pre-need client that has something really nice to say about their pre-need coverage, and it's something that you want to share, not just on your social media, but on ours, we would be very excited to share that with you guys. So we have a social media email address that you can send that sort of thing to. Let me put that in the chat here. So that SNL social media email address, if you ever have testimonials, send them that way. We are happy to share on our social media page as well. It is always exciting for us to kind of shout out excellent cases of people having pre-need coverage. So. Okay. I haven't seen any more questions come in. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up. But I want to say thank you to everybody that attended today. We'll send a follow-up email out in the next couple of days with this recording. And we are always happy to help if you guys have questions. So hope you have a wonderful day.